Welcome to Treasure Coast Community Health, with 7 locations to serve you better. We have a dedicated staff. And now, here's your host, CEO Vicki Soule.
And welcome to Community Conversations and 2021. I know that this is a year that will provide us a lot more optimism than we ended 2020 with. But it occurred to me as I was sitting there looking out the window yesterday that although it is the first of the year, last year we had no clue what was going to come before us. But I'm very happy to say that all of us have found a little glimmer of something positive that was totally unexpected. Many of us have used Zoom, we've used telehealth. We have seen a number of different things that we have taken up perhaps as hobbies in our slowdown time. No, it's not all been roses, but I do believe that we have such a great community that whatever is before us in 2021, we will make the ultimate best of it. So in that same thought, I've asked Ken Zielinski, one of our pharmacists, to come and talk about some of the things that are health related at the beginning of the year. As he said to me, you know, we change our batteries 4th of July and Christmas time on our smoke detectors. We should talk a little bit about what kinds of things can we do that is a one and done. So welcome, Ken.
Well, thank you. Some of the things that are a one and done, as people like to have those kind of resolutions for the first of the year.
Yeah, the whole I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week. How long does that normally last?
Yeah, a week.
A week.
You know, but when you have one that's a one and done, you know, you get it done and it's over with and you can move on to the next.
And it's a real feeling of accomplishment.
Absolutely. One of the things would be to check your medications. Go through the old medications that you may have, and the 3 antibiotics that you have from 2 years ago are not going to do you any good.
They're not?
No. So get rid of those. Get rid of the cream that you've had since 1980. Okay. Get rid of the things that aren't going to be done. Also check your new medications. Make sure you have refills. Make sure you have enough to get you through till the next month, whatever that may take. If it's the new, are you breaking them in half? Do you have a pill cutter? Those type of things.
Can you read what days of the week are still on your pill boxes?
Okay, correct.
And I say that not sort of tongue-in-cheek, but not. My son has a 7-day week planner, and midweek, I was like, did you take Mondays? And he goes, you're counting from the wrong end of the box. So those kinds of simple things, we kind of get in a roll.
Absolutely. Make sure you have the lids that will snap on. So when you do take them out of the cabinet, they're not poured all over the floor.
Would people do that? Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So those are really great suggestions. The one and dones go beyond medications, though. But before I leave that, you say, if you've got 3 antibiotic pills, just get rid of them. We've heard before that it's not good to flush them down into our septic tanks, and there's not necessarily a collection taking place next week. Are there other means that people can do to isolate those? Can they bring them to a Treasure Coast place, for example?
Absolutely. They can bring them to Treasure Coast. We have a little product that's a disposable thing. It's a little powder we add to a jug, and we can pour those into the thing to destroy. There also, you can, if it's not tons of medications, you can open the bottles. Don't ever throw medications away with your bottle with the name on it and those types of things. You know,
pull the labels off the recycling group.
Or black out if you can't pull them off. And then that way, too, people don't know what is in the product, what is in the bottle. Open it up, separate it, try to add a little water to it, just destroy it some type.
And in the old days, they were talking about coffee grounds, but I guess with all the little Keurig containers,
it's difficult for that. And coffee grounds is just, it's kind of like even Coca-Cola will work, but it's a very acidic, and it will destroy the integrity of the pill.
Okay. That's really good to know, because again, I think people want to be safe with their medications. They don't want them in their medicine cabinets for grandkids to get into, or even their own children. So it's, however, difficult to know what to do with them. Okay, so Treasure Coast at the 2 pharmacy locations.
Pharmacy locations.
Okay, very good.
They also, a lot of times, the fire department, you can take them to there, and they have ways of disposals for those things.
I believe I saw something up at Bay Street and Sebastian as well. A number of our community pharmacy partners will take back those meds. So that's good information. So what other kinds of things do you see as a clinician as sort of a one and done?
Well, a lot of them, people need to just take care of their health, but they got to find out what might be the problem. So the best thing to do would be go get a physical. Go get a physical, get some lab work done. You may not know you have high blood pressure. You may not know you have high cholesterol.
And we see that often.
Correct. And then you're just thinking, well, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to go do all this stuff. That could exacerbate the condition that you don't even know you have.
But isn't ignorance bliss?
Not always.
I hear that a lot. If I don't know about it, I won't have to deal with it.
Yeah, well,
sometimes you deal with it in unexpected ways in the emergency room, don't you?
It's better to be, use that prevention. What did they say? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Unless you really like emergency departments.
Correct.
Yes. Okay. So I know that many of our folks came down and weren't able to go up north to their second home or first home, whichever the case may be. They might not have a provider, or I'm hearing already that a number of the providers are booked up for routine things a month or 2 out. Is that your understanding as well?
It depends. It depends on what's actually being done.
Okay.
A lot of people go, well, I can't get a vaccine, so I must not be able to get in to get a physical. That's not true.
Not true.
So get in, take care of what you need to take care of, because COVID's not the only thing that's out there.
Well, and I'm going to tell you that we have a new group of people orienting with Treasure Coast this morning, and I asked how many people had gotten the flu shot already, and there weren't a lot of hands raised, which was disappointing. I think everyone's focus is on COVID, but the reality is the first shot is, even if you can get in that first shot queue, is only going to very partially protect you. So you really need to wait until the 28 days to be protected against COVID. And then you have to wait another 2 weeks minimum in order to get the flu shot. Well, if you do the calendar math, now you're talking about probably March before you're protected against the flu if you put COVID first. So it's far better to get your flu shot now, and then in 2 weeks, which, if we're talking lucky here, will pass pretty quickly before COVID is available anyways. There will be some coming in. All of us that are expecting to get it are expecting to deliver it out as quickly as possible. But COVID and flu are different. And the worst thing that you would have is to get your COVID shot and then fall sick before the 28 days. And then people don't know, the diagnosticians, the emergency room, your primary care, is it COVID or is it the flu? And there are different ways to treat the two. So it is important.
Sure.
Can we do more tests? Yes, but.
Right. Yeah. And there's other, shingles if you're eligible for a shingle shot.
With all the stress?
With all everything. Yeah.
Isn't that when shingles tend to pop out when you're more stressed?
It helps. It takes that virus and kicks it into gear, and then people will,
and if you've ever had shingles, you do not want it.
You do not.
You do not. Mm-hmm. You're not. It's not respiratory. It's not GI. It's just plain uncomfortable.
Correct. Yeah. But there's other things. You want to take care of yourself. COVID, like I said, is not the only thing that's out there. If you get your blood work done, you find you have high cholesterol, you can start treating that today.
And truthfully, although people do have high cholesterol, and it is important because that clogs your arteries and veins, which leads to strokes or heart attacks. And so I'm certainly not undermining it. But I think this silent killer still is high blood pressure. Absolutely. There are so many folks that say, well, it must just be because I was upset this morning when they come in to get their blood pressure checked. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, let's wait for a little bit. And lo and behold, it's still pretty high. And having treatment for high blood pressure tends not to have as many side effects as what we hear for statins and other cholesterol-lowering agents. I hear over and over again, I don't want to go on that stuff that makes you sick.
Too many side effects.
Too many side effects. But aren't there a number of different statins now
Yes. There's several different statins. There's even cholesterol medication that aren't a statin. They are more dietary type things. And what they'll do is they'll take and bind to the cholesterol, and then it's eliminated, when you go to the bathroom.
Right.
And that's a great thing,
So people shouldn't be so concerned about finding out they have high cholesterol and having this immediate dietary regime and the side effects of medication.
Yeah. The concern should be whether they have it or not. That's the concern. If they don't, then great. If they do, then what's the next step? Plan it accordingly.
And there are options, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, if you need them. But you're right, absolutely. Yeah. I'm just, it's so blatantly true. It seems like it shouldn't have to be said, but it does.
Yeah, same with other medications and same with other conditions. Diabetes, for instance. You may not know you have diabetes. You might find out that you're going to the bathroom all the time, and you go, oh, maybe that's the because I'm drinking too much at night or something of this nature, when in fact it could be that your sugar is high.
Okay. Well, that's, wow, I could just go on, but we have a sponsor check. So we're going to allow our sponsors to have a word in edgewise with this conversation, and then we'll be right back.
Welcome to Treasure Coast Community Health. With 7 locations to... Hey, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right... Hey, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. You're on Planet Vero Radio and TV. Stay with us.
The Bottle Shop. Liquor, wine from France, Italy, Spain, and California. They even do deliveries and parties. Are you planning an event? Bottle Shop provides liquor and wine on consignment. Pay for the booze you use. They deliver anywhere on the island. Hotel rooms, too. The Bottle Shop, next to the Boiler Bar, both on Ocean Drive in Vero Beach. The Bottle Shop, 772-231-0277.
A patio is just a patio until great furniture makes it the best room in your home. At Sunshine Furniture, we have been the outdoor furniture experts for over 30 years and carry the largest selection of outdoor furniture made in America. Hundreds of styles, colors, and fabrics to choose from in outdoor wicker, aluminum, MGP, and recycled plastic from Lloyd Flanders, Tropitone, Hollywood, Berlin Gardens, Seaside, O.W. Lee, Windward, Woodard, Telescope, and others, made to withstand our Florida climate and all proudly manufactured in the USA. Ask before you buy, where is it made? We also specialize in replacement cushions, umbrellas, beach chairs, outdoor rugs, and fire bits, all made here too. Right now, all pictures, lamps, and accessories are half price. Sunshine Furniture, $12.95 US 1 in Vero Beach, next to Planet Fitness. Don't forget to check out our outlet store just across the street and visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com.
Good news, darling. Beachside comes to the mainland. Gypsy Queen has arrived in Vero Beach in time for the holidays. Gypsy Queen has an eclectic, posh, bohemian selection of antiques, collectibles, clothing, and redesigned furniture on Old Dixie, south of 12th Street in Vero Beach. The perfect spot to find the perfect gifts for everyone on your list. Open Wednesday through Friday, 10 to 5, and Saturday, 10 to 3. Go to thegypsyqueenredesign.com for more info, for a sneak peek and a schedule of art and craft classes. Gypsy Queen, come in and see what everyone is talking about.
And welcome back to Community Conversations. This is your host, Vicki Soule from Treasure Coast Community Health. And we're talking about what else? Good health in the new year. And so today I have with me one of our pharmacists, Ken Zielinski, who's been with us a number of years and has a real bent for public health. And so he is talking with us about some of the things that we can do at the beginning of the year, as opposed to long-term resolutions that usually last short-term, like going to the gym 3 times a week or more. Sort of a one and done, just like you would change out the batteries in your fire detector. You would check your medications. You would check to see when was the last time I had a physical. When was the last time that I had a dental appointment, clean my teeth, those types of things? Because the reality is, blink, blink, and this whole year just went by in a blur with all of the different things that we had to adapt to and modify and adjust to. Some of our simple things like the calendar of when I get my mammogram or my PSA or my physical or check on my sugar that they told me to check on in 6 months, and that was a year ago. Those days have all gone by. So, gentle reminder to take a look at your health and that of your family, spouses, children, parents, and see if we can't work to get us all back on track, because that is really important. And Ken, of course, pointed out that there are more things to think about than just COVID. But I'm going to veer off to COVID because that is the topic of the day in terms of vaccinations. Treasure Coast Community Health was out this past week in conjunction with the county and the Department of Health. And through that partnership, we were able to immunize over 500 people. Now, we knew it wasn't a perfect plan, but the reality is we don't want to wait on perfect. We want to get the vaccines out there. And so there will be more mass distributions. And as we get more vaccine, there will be spreading fingers of connectivity, just as the first 5 hospitals received theirs in the state, and then they reached out to the smaller hospitals around them, so will this mass distribution happen. So bear in mind that we know that not everybody has a phone or a computer to register with the county, but the Vero grapevine, the Sebastian grapevine, and the Fellsmere grapevine, I assure you, is alive and well. We've had numerous people come in already to the vaccination site that said, yeah, I got the buzz, and I immediately contacted 8 of my friends, and all but 1 got in. So we know that there's a different means to connect with people. So be patient, be kind, understand we are trying to prioritize as best we can, but not hampering those folks. But Ken pointed out that there is not just the COVID vaccine, there's others. And so he did ask me to say, how are we dealing for folks that haven't had those vaccines? We are a medical provider for primary care, so we don't just administer vaccines the way Publix perhaps does with their flu shots, which is great, but as a primary care and medical home, we want to look and make sure that we know all about you before we just start sticking needles in you. So again, I come back to make an appointment, and then if you have insurance, that's great. They'll ask you about it. If you don't, we do have a mechanism for a number of different assistance. We have a sliding fee scale program. We are part of the 340B program, where many of these vaccines and other medications can be gotten at reduced or free rates, again, depending on your income and the size of your family, and truthfully, into which little slot we might be able to put you, right, Ken?
Correct.
Okay. You also help people with medication assistance programs.
Yes, they have patient assistance programs. So if you can't afford your medication, we can actually download, go onto the internet, and find out if your medication falls into one of these categories. And we can print out what they call a PAP, or a patient assistance program.
Okay.
And if your medication is extremely expensive, or you just can't afford it, even if it's not expensive, some of them are given away by the manufacturers for absolutely no charge. You just have to go through a qualification part. Okay.
So that has applied most frequently to the Hep A and the Hep C treatments?
It has for those. Also, the big one we do is insulin, because insulin is totally, it's very expensive.
It can be.
And if you can get all of your insulin from the manufacturer for no charge, that's a great help. A great help.
I'll bet there's a lot of people trying to do that. Do all of the whatever you called it, PFP?
A PAP?
PAP, yeah. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Do all the applicants get accepted?
I would say about 90% of the patients that apply for it get accepted, to some degree.
Okay.
Not all of them is exactly free, but some of
Okay.
them are such a reduced rate. Like you can see the commercials on TV. If you qualify for this program, you can get it for $10.
Yeah.
And then with the PAP is very similar.
Okay. And so all of those things are available to our Treasure Coast Community Health patients.
Correct.
We're not an open pharmacy. They can't just come in and say, I want to do this. Here's my prescription, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So tell us about the next thing for patient convenience in pharmacy.
The next thing for patient convenience.
Would that be our third location?
Yeah. We're actually going to be in a few weeks opening a Gifford location.
Okay.
It's at the health clinic, the new TCCH clinic.
Mhm.
They're going to be having a pharmacy. They have just about everything there. It's a great location, very new, facility. It's going to be an awesome thing. It's going to be a big pharmacy, and it's going to also have a joint where we can do a little bit of each. We can have in-house and potentially some outhouse, not outhouse, but out
Yeah,
of,
I was going to say, we don't do outhouses.
but out of the network of TCCH.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah, that'll be great for the community.
Yeah, we've had a lot of inquiries, and a lot of things are changing in the pharmaceutical world in terms of what can happen, what can't happen, whether you can charge for insulin, whether it should be at cost. There's a lot of shakeup, and all for good reason, as we are exploring different changes. So thank you for announcing that. We will probably, maybe, in the past, we've had open houses. I don't know that maybe it'll be a virtual open house that we could put on Facebook and tag for other places.
Put it on the internet.
Yeah. So
Something, a walkthrough or something.
So any other questions that you typically get as a pharmacist that come to mind as we close out here?
Right now with this beginning of the year, I think it's just important to become healthy, with the kids going back to school, that type of thing. What are the procedures? What are the things that a patient needs to do to maintain their health? And number one is, are you healthy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, find out first. Get that physical. That once you've done it, you've done it. And
Exactly.
it's, get that dental checkup.
Well, and I might also add that there are a number of people who before COVID were coming in to maintain good blood pressure or glucose levels or whatever. And we have seen them self-isolate, not quarantined, because there is that difference. If you're in quarantine, thank you very much. Stay quarantined for your 10 days. But a number of people have been afraid to go out, and they've kind of fallen off that maintenance schedule. And their blood levels, when they come in, do reflect that they're not quite as healthy as they could be. And it's not harping to harp. We're not making great amounts of money by having you come in. The reality is every action has a consequence. And if your sugar gets out of control, then it affects your organs. And when those are damaged, you're not necessarily going to get them back the way they were before the damage started. Okay, so it very much concerns me that folks need to get back on track, whether it's with us, their own provider, who's here in town, out of town. The plea is be a healthier you this year. Okay. Thank you so much for being here today, Ken. I really, really appreciate your insight, because sometimes it's so clear when you're standing outside of the forest as opposed to inside. And you're just a little bit of both. So very refreshing. Thank you all for visiting with us today, listening, sharing the information with others. And we'll be back next week with a special guest from the Inner Truth Project. So come back. We'll talk to you then. And have a great night.